Y'all. So, job hunting out there is one flew over the cuckoo's nest. I mean, it's gone from an adventure of incompetence, and we finally found crazy. We found crazy. You have to hear this story. This is going down in the big time wall of shame, and I really should report this guy to corporate, and I might, but I'm not a snitch, so that's kind of the way that goes. But this guy should really be reported for this crap. I just don't have proof that he said this because I have nothing in writing. So last week I had some disappointing results. I went into some job interviews for one was like a job interview for a job that did not exist. So I was like, oh my God, I drove all the way out here for nothing. So I said, well, I'm going to make this pay off. I'm going to go hit a bunch of places on the way back, places I've never seen before. And that's what I did. So I walked into this place off the street and I just kind of said to myself, let's see what it's like. It looks kind of cool. Restaurant. So I walk in, I basically ask the guy there, I say, are you guys hiring? And he says, we are, but we're looking for a particular set of skills. I said, okay. I said, what are they? He's like, well, what's your work experience? I said, well, I've done this for 2 years. I did that. And I said, as a hobby, I do this, this, and this. Okay. So there's some translation. There's a good amount of translation. Not exactly, but for the most part, there is. He kind of nodded his head like, this could work. So I was like, I saw that as a good sign. And he said, my name is so-and-so. He's like, yeah. He's like, come back tomorrow at 8 o'clock when the hiring manager's here. I said, okay. I said 8 o'clock exactly. And he said something like any time after 8. I said, all right, cool. So I'm thinking to myself, there's this other guy that's going to be there who's the actual manager. I'm going to show up, have a talk with that guy, and start anew. So the problem is I went home. There's a bunch of other stuff. Things came in the emails. And there was other things that came up that were around that time slot. And it would be hard to make that plus the other one. So the one I already had something in writing for, I prioritized. I went to the one at 9 o'clock. I skipped over that 8 o'clock hour. I said, well, he said anytime after 8 on such and such day. I said, good. So I thought, well, if I can get everything done by 10:30, 11, maybe I'll hop on over there. Well, everything took me till about 11:45, so I skipped over it. And that ran into the weekend, and I just basically said, oh, I'll see about some other stuff, and we'll see how things go. So I've been going at kind of like the pace of about going out and about or going to an interview like once a day. And every time I've shown up, it's like AI incompetence, meaning the jobs don't exist and everything was wrongfully scheduled. So today I'm kind of frustrated. I'm tired. I don't know what I want to do. I still have to go bring back another application to a diner. And so I thought to myself, well, let me call this one place again and see, like, what days is the hiring manager there, so I know what days to pop in. Okay. I call up and the guy over the phone says, yeah, this is the hiring manager. I said, oh, great. I said, yeah, I had a brief conversation with so-and-so who works there. And they said, like, you're there on certain days. And he's like, yeah, this is so-and-so. And I'm thinking, like, what? Like, you acted as if the hiring manager was somebody else. And to come back another day. Like, me and him are there, face to face. He wasn't doing a whole lot. Why? Didn't this just go down right then and there? Only he knows. Anyways, I told him who I was. He's like, oh, yeah, I remember. He's like, that was last week. I said, yeah. And he said, yeah, you were supposed to show up at 8. I said, that was a formal interview? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, I had nothing in writing, and he never said, and he lied about who he was. I mean, I'm thinking about this now. And anyways, he kind of rejects me for setting up another one, and almost in a way like that I'm not a reliable potential employee. It's like, Are you gaslighting me? You lied about who you are. And and you didn't even give me a set date and time. I mean, are you for real? Are these people for real? Where do they get them from? Can you imagine? I don't know if you're picking up on this. Can you imagine if I went back to that interview at 8 o'clock the next day and I'm like, yeah, I'm here to speak to the hiring manager. You're looking at him. Uh, you lied. I mean, imagine if you got the job and you're looking across the table at a liar. This guy lied about his identity. Are you going to take that job? Are you going to seriously believe that is a credible person to put on a reference? Imagine performance evaluations. Is he going to tell the truth? Or is he going to make that up too? I've never seen anything like it. Never. I've had fake evaluations. I had a guy who didn't like me. He didn't like anybody really. Gave me fake evaluations to kind of tank my evaluations to be kind of average, right? That was systematic, so I couldn't leave the job. Because if you had very good evaluations, then you can go somewhere else. But if he makes you look, not so great, it's hard to kind of move on somewhere else. So that was a tactic. But anyways, this place is looking to hire. I know what their problem is, man. I know why the last guy quit. If this guy is consistently like this, oh my God. What a dodged bullet. I can only imagine working with that guy. I guarantee you, your work is never good enough. I guarantee you, he's a dead reference. I guarantee you he's a dead reference. He probably has nothing good to say about anybody. But essentially, he basically threw away one of his most qualified potential candidates because he couldn't tell the truth. I wonder if corporate would like to hear about how I was willing to work there, I have all the necessary skills, and this guy basically threw it away because I don't know what. Maybe he can disclose some documents. Anyways, we found crazy, and it's in no surprising place at all, corporate America.